What happens to your erections when you don't drink enough water? Did you know that even a seemingly small dip, just 1 to 2% in your body's hydration level, can cause a dramatic drop in your physical performance? And that doesn't just mean feeling a little tired or thirsty. This decline stretches far deeper, significantly impairing your sexual performance, including your ability to maintain strong erections and sustain sexual stamina. Before we dive deep into today's eye-opening topic, make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with a friend or partner who might never have thought that something as basic and overlooked as water intake could be quietly sabotaging their sex life. Also, don't forget to drop a comment below telling us how much water you drink every day. You might be shocked to find out how far off you are from the optimal levels that truly support your body and bedroom performance. Introduction: the hidden truth in your water bottle. What if I told you that the frustrating battle you've been fighting with low libido, weak or inconsistent erections, and chronic fatigue might not be caused primarily by your age, daily stress, or even those fluctuating testosterone levels you've heard so much about? What if the root cause hiding in plain sight is simply something as elementary as your water consumption? At first glance, this sounds almost too simple to be true. How could plain old water, something so ordinary and abundant, possibly have a direct, measurable impact on something as intricate and sensitive as male sexual function? You might even be thinking, I drink enough water, this can't apply to me. But that's exactly where the problem lies. Most people dramatically underestimate the critical role hydration plays in every physiological system, especially those linked to sexual health. Experts in urology and endocrinology now increasingly emphasize hydration as a foundational pillar in male sexual wellness. Dr. Stephen Kaplan, a renowned urologist, explains, water is essential for maintaining blood volume in circulation, which directly impacts the ability to achieve and sustain an erection. Dehydration thickens the blood, making it harder for it to flow freely through the penile arteries. In practical terms, imagine the body as a highly complex hydraulic system. When the fluid levels drop, the pressure decreases and the entire mechanism struggles to perform. This analogy is not just theoretical. Countless men have reported that when they consciously increase their water intake, they notice significant improvements in their energy levels, erectile function, and overall stamina, sometimes within days. Moreover, hydration influences hormone balance. Testosterone, the cornerstone hormone driving male sexual desire and performance, relies heavily on optimal bodily conditions to be produced and regulated effectively. Dehydration can trigger stress responses in the body, releasing cortisol, a hormone known to suppress testosterone production. This hormonal imbalance creates a vicious cycle where low hydration leads to low testosterone, which in turn impacts sexual function and mood. We'll be exploring the fascinating timeline of these changes, from the initial signs of dehydration to how prolonged neglect can seriously erode sexual health and vitality. Along the way, I'll share real-world examples from clinical studies and everyday men who've transformed their sexual well-being simply by prioritizing hydration. Plus, we'll reveal practical, actionable tips so you can start improving your hydration habits today and see tangible results in your energy, erection quality, and hormone levels. Stay tuned, because what you're about to learn isn't just common sense. It's science-backed, real, and surprisingly life-changing. Week 1. How dehydration disrupts blood flow and sabotages your sexual health. Pause for a moment, and if you're already learning something new, go ahead and smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on more surprising, science-backed health tips like this one. Also, drop a comment below. How often do you really think about the role of water when it comes to your sexual health? You might be more dehydrated than you realize, and that's exactly what we're about to unpack. Now let's zoom in on what happens in the critical first week when you start slacking on hydration. Unlike a sudden illness or injury, the effects of dehydration creep in slowly and silently. You may not feel thirsty or notice any obvious symptoms, but your body is already struggling on the inside, especially your cardiovascular system, which is crucial for sexual performance. First major impact, reduce blood volume. Here's a fundamental fact that most people overlook. Blood is approximately 90 to 92% water. When your hydration levels drop, your blood literally becomes thicker, more viscous, and harder to pump efficiently. Think of it like trying to push honey through a narrow pipe instead of water. The flow slows down, pressure drops, and your heart has to work overtime to keep circulation going. This isn't just an academic point. Dr. Michael Lee, a cardiologist specializing in men's health, emphasizes, even mild dehydration causes blood volume reduction, which triggers a cascade of cardiovascular stress. The body struggles to deliver oxygen and nutrients to critical organs, including the penile tissue that's essential for erections. When the blood thickens, the high-pressure flow necessary for rigid, lasting erections becomes compromised. How blood flow to the penis suffers. An erection is essentially a hydraulic event. It depends on a smooth, strong, and fast blood flow to fill the corpora cavernosa, the two chambers inside the penis. When dehydration thickens the blood, this flow is obstructed or slowed, making it difficult to achieve or maintain firmness. The penile arteries are relatively small, so any reduction in blood fluidity disproportionately impacts erectile quality. This process often goes unnoticed at first. You might chalk up weaker erections or reduced firmness to stress or fatigue, but in reality, your body is silently signaling that its fluid balance is off. This subtle decline is the first domino in a chain reaction that can escalate into more serious sexual dysfunction if left unaddressed. Real-life example, from semi-hard to strong. The hydration fix. Consider the case of Jason, a 32-year-old fitness enthusiast who eats clean, works out regularly, but complained to me about consistently semi-hard erections and low energy throughout the day. At first glance, his lifestyle seemed nearly ideal, but during a detailed lifestyle assessment, one glaring issue emerged: hydration. Jason was drinking only about 3 glasses of water a day, assuming his morning coffee, protein shakes, and other beverages covered his fluid needs. We often fall into this trap, mistaking caffeinated or protein-heavy drinks for hydration. But coffee is actually a diuretic, causing you to lose water, and protein shakes don't replace the water your cells desperately need. Once Jason consciously upped his water intake to 2.5 liters daily, something remarkable happened. Within just 2 weeks, his morning erections returned to their full strength, and he reported feeling more energized during workouts and daily activities. Jason's story isn't unique. It highlights a critical but often ignored aspect of men's health. Hydration is not just about quenching thirst. It's about maintaining the internal environment that supports sexual function and vitality. Scientific evidence. Hydration's impact on cognitive and sexual performance. The link between hydration and sexual health isn't just anecdotal. A study published in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition examined how even mild dehydration, around 1.5% loss of body weight through water, can impair cognitive function and increase feelings of fatigue. Both cognitive sharpness and energy levels are tightly connected to sexual desire and arousal. When your brain and body feel drained, your libido naturally declines. Moreover, fatigue caused by dehydration reduces your motivation and responsiveness in intimate moments. Without proper hydration, your nervous system's ability to send clear, strong signals to your sexual organs diminishes, disrupting the entire sexual response cycle. Dr. Anna Morrison, a sexual health researcher, comments, "Hydration is fundamental for the neural and vascular processes that enable sexual arousal and performance. When dehydrated, the nervous system's communication falters, blood flow slows, and hormonal signaling can be thrown off balance." Summary and reflection. So week 1 without adequate hydration might seem uneventful on the surface. You're not gasping for water or suffering severe symptoms, but beneath the surface, your blood thickens, circulation slows, and the finely tuned hydraulic system that powers erections starts to falter. This silent disruption sets the stage for ongoing sexual health issues if ignored. Week 2, hormonal chaos begins, the survival shuffle that sabotages your sex drive. As we enter the second week without proper hydration, your body doesn't just passively suffer, It actively shifts into what I like to call the survival shuffle. This is a state where your biological systems prioritize keeping you alive over anything considered non-essential, especially reproductive functions like sexual health. In essence, your body starts triaging. Vital functions such as maintaining circulation, regulating body temperature, and preserving core organ function take precedence, while sexual performance and hormone production become secondary concerns. Cortisol soars, testosterone plummets. The hormonal tug-of-war. One of the most significant and detrimental changes during this phase is the spike in cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Cortisol's role is to manage stress and maintain homeostasis, but when it remains elevated due to chronic mild dehydration, it creates a hormonal seesaw. As cortisol goes up, testosterone goes down. Testosterone is not just a male sex hormone. It's fundamentally responsible for libido, muscle mass, energy levels, mood, and even cognitive function. When testosterone levels drop, you experience a cascade of negative effects: diminished sexual desire, increased fatigue, muscle loss, and often difficulty achieving or maintaining erections. This hormonal imbalance effectively turns your body's reproductive engine into an idling machine. Scientific evidence: the cortisol-testosterone link. The relationship between hydration and hormones is not just theory. A landmark 2011 study conducted by researchers at the University of Connecticut studied dehydrated male athletes and found a clear rise in cortisol levels during dehydration. Elevated cortisol, the stress hormone, is well known to suppress testosterone production. This suppression occurs because the body, interpreting dehydration as a stressor, activates its fight-or-flight response, which inherently downregulates reproductive functions to conserve energy and resources. These findings underscore a critical insight. Mild chronic dehydration isn't just about feeling thirsty or tired. It actively disrupts your hormonal equilibrium in a way that can erode your sexual health over time, a connection many men completely overlook. Expert insight: neuroscience perspective on hormonal balance. Dr. Andrew Huberman, a Stanford neuroscientist who frequently discusses the interplay of hormones on human behavior and physiology, explains this dynamic elegantly. According to Dr. Huberman, cortisol and testosterone operate in a delicate balancing act, where the elevation of one almost inevitably causes the suppression of the other. He emphasizes that chronic mild dehydration can tip this balance, subtly but consistently, resulting in decreased testosterone levels that men rarely connect to their hydration habits. He also points out that this hormonal disruption affects more than just sex drive. Cognitive function, motivation, and emotional well-being are all influenced, highlighting the wide-reaching impact of staying dehydrated. Personal insight: hydration's unexpected effects on mood and desire. From a personal standpoint, I can attest that upping my daily water intake wasn't just about physical health. It profoundly improved my sleep quality, stabilized my mood, and reignited my sexual desire. Many men expect performance or energy boosts to come from supplements or intense workouts, but something as fundamental as hydration can deliver surprisingly powerful benefits. This personal observation echoes what many clinicians report. Hydration is a foundational yet frequently underestimated pillar of male sexual health. The second week of dehydration represents a critical turning point where the hormonal chaos becomes noticeable, and recovery depends heavily on restoring proper hydration. Summary and reflection: Week 2 marks the transition from subtle physical changes to overt hormonal disruption. Your body's survival mechanism prioritizes critical functions, leaving your reproductive health sidelined. Cortisol rises, testosterone falls, and with it, your libido, energy, and sexual performance decline. Scientific research and expert analysis confirm that dehydration-induced hormonal imbalances are a silent epidemic undermining men's sexual vitality. Week 3: Fatigue, focus loss, and bedroom frustration. When dehydration hits your mind and libido. Hard by the third week of inadequate hydration, the subtle warning signs have morphed into full-blown symptoms that can no longer be ignored. This is where the physiological and psychological consequences of dehydration start to seriously sabotage your day-to-day life, especially your energy, motivation, and sexual function. The impact now extends beyond the physical realm, reaching deep into brain chemistry and emotional well-being. Chronic fatigue, when your body and brain just don't keep up. At this stage, many men report a profound sense of exhaustion. This isn't the normal tiredness from a long day. It's chronic fatigue that saps your strength and leaves your muscles sluggish. Why? Because dehydration reduces blood volume and impairs oxygen delivery to muscles and the brain, limiting their performance and recovery capacity. Your body's cells rely on adequate hydration to function optimally. Without enough water, cellular metabolism slows and muscle fatigue sets in faster. This means workouts suffer, recovery takes longer, and simple daily tasks feel draining. The brain, highly dependent on water, starts to falter as well, impairing memory, attention, and processing speed. The fatigue you feel is as much mental as it is physical. Low motivation, the dopamine drain. Beyond mere tiredness, you might notice a significant drop in your motivation and drive. This isn't a coincidence. The brain's dopamine system, responsible for regulating pleasure, reward, and motivation, requires proper hydration to function correctly. Dehydration disrupts the delicate balance of neurotransmitters, including dopamine and serotonin, which are critical to maintaining enthusiasm and focus. When dopamine levels fall, the reward system becomes less sensitive, making activities that once excited you, including sex, feel less enticing. This neurochemical shift leads to a vicious cycle. Low motivation discourages exercise, socializing, or even intimacy, which in turn worsens mood and energy levels. Sexual frustration. The bedroom becomes a battlefield. Perhaps the most distressing symptom at week 3 is sexual frustration. Men often report that achieving an erection becomes increasingly difficult, and once achieved, it's harder to sustain firmness. This isn't just psychological. The hydraulic mechanism of erection depends on healthy blood flow and neurochemical signaling, both impaired by dehydration. Reduced dopamine and serotonin levels blunt sexual anticipation and reward, meaning the pleasure and desire associated with intimacy diminish. Meanwhile, thickened blood and decreased circulation, combined with hormonal imbalances from earlier weeks, create a perfect storm for erectile dysfunction. Hydration and brain chemistry. Why water is your brain's best friend? It's critical to understand that the brain is about 75% water. This high water content is vital for maintaining neuronal health, neurotransmitter production, and synaptic communication. Dehydration impairs these processes, leading to decreased synthesis and release of key neurotransmitters like dopamine and serotonin. The result? Not just a low mood, but a compromised ability to experience sexual anticipation and satisfaction. Dr. Lisa Mosconi, a neuroscientist specializing in brain metabolism, emphasizes that even mild dehydration can cause measurable declines in cognitive function and mood. When this is compounded over weeks, the effects on motivation and sexual health are magnified. Real-life case study. The Redditor who fixed ED by simply hydrating. One powerful anecdote comes from a man who shared his struggle on Reddit. He had battled erectile dysfunction for months, trying everything from supplements and pelvic exercises to therapy. But nothing worked. Frustrated, he began meticulously tracking his hydration habits and realized he was drinking less than 1 liter of water daily, far below recommended levels. After increasing his water intake to the optimal 2.5 to 3 liters a day, he noticed remarkable improvements within 3 weeks. Morning erections returned, libido reignited, and his overall performance in the bedroom improved dramatically. His story underscores how often hydration is overlooked in sexual health discussions, yet it can be the simple missing piece of the puzzle. Analysis and reflection, the broader implications. Week 3's developments reveal how dehydration's reach extends beyond mere physical symptoms to affect brain chemistry and emotional well-being, both essential for a fulfilling sex life. Chronic dehydration can create a feedback loop of fatigue, low motivation, and sexual dysfunction that can severely impact quality of life and relationships. Understanding this timeline is crucial. While many men rush to expensive treatments or supplements for sexual issues, the underlying cause might be as simple and accessible as drinking enough water daily. Recognizing dehydration's role offers a practical, affordable, and scientifically validated approach to restoring not just sexual health, but overall vitality and cognitive function. As we move into the final week, we'll uncover how ongoing dehydration affects your nervous system and mental resilience, deepening sexual dysfunction and emotional stress, and what you can do to break free from this cycle for good. 1 month without enough water, systemic breakdown. When dehydration throws your whole body out of balance. By the time you reach the 1-month mark of insufficient hydration, the consequences of neglecting your water intake have escalated from isolated symptoms to a full-scale systemic breakdown. At this stage, your body's critical organs and systems are deeply impacted, creating a cascade of dysfunctions that severely impair not only sexual health, but overall well-being. It's no longer just about feeling tired or unfocused. It's a complex, interconnected crisis within your physiology. Kidney and liver function. Take a hit, the hormone regulators suffer. 2 of your most vital organs for maintaining hormonal balance, the kidneys and liver, start to slow down significantly when chronically dehydrated. These organs are responsible for metabolizing and clearing sex hormones like testosterone and estrogen, as well as regulating fluid and electrolyte balance. With inadequate hydration, kidney filtration rates decrease, leading to toxin buildup and impaired clearance of hormone metabolites. The liver, overloaded with toxins and with diminished blood flow, struggles to efficiently convert hormones into their active or inactive forms. This disruption creates a domino effect. Poor hormone metabolism results in imbalanced testosterone levels, which exacerbates sexual dysfunction, mood swings, and energy depletion. Dr. Mark Hyman, a leading functional medicine expert, highlights that chronic dehydration undermines liver and kidney health, which are foundational to hormone regulation and detoxification, 2 pillars essential for sexual vitality and metabolic balance. Dry skin and mucous membranes. Natural lubrication fades. Another often overlooked symptom that surfaces around week 4 is dryness, not just of your skin, but also of mucous membranes, including those involved in sexual activity. Proper hydration is critical to maintaining the moisture and elasticity of skin and the natural lubrication necessary for comfortable and pleasurable intercourse. Men experiencing dehydration may notice that their skin feels tight, flaky, or dull. More importantly, the tissues in the genital area become less lubricated, which can cause discomfort, irritation, and reduced sexual pleasure. This dryness contributes to increased friction during sex, leading to soreness or even minor injuries, creating a negative feedback loop that further dampens libido and confidence. Sleep disruption and hormonal chaos. Cortisol goes haywire. By this point, sleep quality often suffers dramatically. Waking up dehydrated triggers an early spike in cortisol, the body's primary stress hormone. Elevated cortisol in the morning might seem like a way to kickstart your day, but chronic elevations disrupt your natural circadian rhythm and suppress testosterone production. The National Sleep Foundation notes that dehydration can cause frequent awakenings, restless sleep, and difficulty falling back asleep, all of which contribute to fatigue and diminished daytime function. Poor sleep exacerbates stress and hormonal imbalance, making it nearly impossible to recover your sexual health without addressing hydration. Sexual health fallout. More than just physical, it's psychological and relational. At this stage, men often experience full-blown sexual performance issues, weaker erections, diminished libido, premature ejaculation, or even erectile dysfunction. The psychological toll is equally profound. Lack of confidence, irritability, and anxiety about sexual performance create additional stress, which can damage intimate relationships. It's common for men to blame aging, stress, or even mental health conditions for these symptoms without realizing the root cause may lie in something as simple and fixable as chronic dehydration. This misattribution can delay effective treatment and perpetuate frustration and relational tension. The urine color test, a simple yet powerful hydration check. A practical everyday hack to assess your hydration status is to monitor your urine color. Ideally, urine should be a pale yellow shade, indicating adequate hydration. Dark yellow or amber urine signals dehydration and the need to increase fluid intake. Conversely, crystal clear urine all day may suggest overhydration, which isn't harmless either. Overhydration can flush out vital electrolytes like sodium and potassium, leading to imbalances that can cause muscle cramps, fatigue, and confusion. Finding the right balance is key. Scientific proof. Hydration as a metabolic and hormonal modulator. Backing up these observations, a comprehensive meta-study published by the National Institutes of Health, NIH, underscores that hydration is not merely about temperature regulation and digestion. It is a critical modulator of metabolic and hormonal function. The study concludes that even mild chronic dehydration can disrupt endocrine balance, impair kidney and liver metabolism, and alter neurotransmitter systems. These effects collectively influence sexual health, mood regulation, and energy levels, emphasizing that water is fundamental to the seamless operation of your body's most vital systems. Final thoughts. The hidden epidemic of chronic dehydration. Chronic dehydration is a stealthy, often overlooked epidemic that undercuts male sexual health and overall vitality from the inside out. What makes it particularly insidious is that it masquerades as other problems, aging, stress, or mental health issues, leading many men down the wrong treatment path. Addressing hydration is a foundational, accessible, and scientifically validated step that can reverse much of this systemic damage. It's a simple yet powerful tool that everyone has at their fingertips, but few fully appreciate. As we conclude this series, remember, your body's need for water is not just about quenching thirst, it's about preserving your hormones, your energy, your sexual health, and ultimately, your quality of life. How to drink water for better erections. Practical tips backed by science. CTA before conclusion. If you've made it this far and you're uncovering new ways to boost your sexual health, don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to support more eye-opening content like this, and drop a comment below telling me one hydration habit you're committing to change starting today. Your journey to better erections could be just a sip away. Now that we understand how critical hydration is for your sexual and overall health, let's get practical. Simply drinking more water isn't enough if it's done haphazardly. The way you consume water can dramatically impact how effectively your body absorbs and uses it, which directly influences your blood flow, hormone balance, and even energy levels. Here are 7 science-backed hydration hacks that optimize your water intake specifically to support better erections and sexual vitality. 1. Sip, don't chug. The power of consistent hydration. One of the most common mistakes people make is drinking large amounts of water all at once. Chugging. This floods your system briefly but doesn't allow your body to absorb the fluid efficiently. Instead, sip water steadily throughout the day. Experts like Dr. Susan Kleiner, a nutrition scientist, emphasize that steady hydration maintains blood volume and supports continuous circulation, which is essential for erectile function. In real-life settings, men who switch from chugging water sporadically to sipping regularly report sustained energy levels and fewer episodes of dehydration-related fatigue or sexual dysfunction. Think of hydration like fueling a car. It's better to fill the tank gradually than to overload it all at once. 2. Sit when you drink, supporting digestion and circulation. It might sound simple, but sitting down while drinking water actually aids digestion and optimizes circulation. This advice dates back to Ayurvedic traditions, which highlight that sitting calms your nervous system, allowing your body to focus on absorbing nutrients and distributing fluids effectively. Dr. Mark Hyman points out that posture affects the autonomic nervous system, which controls blood vessel dilation and blood pressure, both crucial for achieving and maintaining erections. Practically, this means when you sit to drink, your blood vessels can relax better, enhancing the smooth blood flow needed for sexual performance. 3. Mix water with saliva. Don't gulp, let it linger. Gulping water may quench thirst, but it bypasses an important step: mixing with saliva. Saliva contains enzymes and electrolytes that start the digestive and hydration process right in your mouth. Letting water linger briefly before swallowing improves hydration efficiency and reduces sudden changes in blood volume that can stress your cardiovascular system. Experts in digestive health explain that this oral priming helps your body better signal and regulate hydration levels, which in turn influences blood flow and hormone transport, key elements in sustaining erections. 4. Room temperature. Water. Easier on digestion and absorption. Cold water might feel refreshing, but room temperature water is gentler on your digestive system and absorbs more efficiently. Studies show that very cold water can cause temporary constriction of blood vessels and digestive muscles, slowing down hydration and nutrient absorption. From a sexual health perspective, constricted blood vessels mean less oxygen and nutrients reaching the penile tissues. Dr. Andrew Huberman, a neuroscientist from Stanford, notes that vascular health underpins sexual function. Anything that promotes smooth blood flow will support erections. 5. Avoid water. Immediately after meals, wait 30 minutes. Drinking large amounts of water right after eating dilutes digestive enzymes and stomach acids, impairing digestion and nutrient absorption. This may seem unrelated, but poor digestion means your body doesn't get the full benefit of vitamins and minerals essential for hormone production and energy metabolism. Waiting about 30 minutes after meals before drinking water preserves optimal digestion and helps your body utilize nutrients that contribute to healthy testosterone levels and overall sexual function. 6. Morning glass. Kickstart your metabolism and hormones. Drinking a full glass of water within 15 minutes of waking up jumpstarts your metabolism, rehydrates your body after hours without fluids, and supports early morning testosterone synthesis, which peaks naturally in the morning. Men who incorporate this simple ritual often report improvements in morning erections and overall mood. Hydration expert Dr. Nancy Clark points out that this practice not only wakes up your body, but also primes your endocrine system for the day. 7. Don't drink late at night. Protect your sleep and testosterone. Hydrating late at night may seem harmless, but it can disrupt sleep cycles by causing nighttime awakenings for bathroom trips. Fragmented sleep lowers overall testosterone production because most hormone synthesis happens during deep REM sleep. Poor sleep is a vicious cycle that leads to increased cortisol and reduced libido. Avoiding water intake 1 to 2 hours before bed safeguards your rest and protects your hormone rhythm, thereby supporting better sexual health. Final reflection: hydration isn't just a habit, it's a strategy. Water is often overlooked as a foundational pillar of sexual health, yet as we've seen, how you drink it can be as important as how much. By adopting these science-backed hydration habits, you not only optimize your erections, but also enhance energy, mood, and overall vitality. So take a moment, reflect on your current water habits, and consider making one change today. Your body and your bedroom performance will thank you. Conclusion: the easiest sexual health upgrade of your life. Before we wrap up, take a quick moment to hit that like button if you found this video valuable. Share it with a friend or partner who could benefit from these insights, because sometimes the simplest tips make the biggest difference. Don't forget to subscribe for weekly content packed with surprising science-backed strategies to elevate your health and vitality. And please drop a comment below sharing your biggest takeaway or any hydration habits you plan to start. Your story might inspire someone else. Key takeaways. Let's reinforce the essentials, because understanding these can genuinely transform how you approach your sexual health. Blood flow, testosterone, energy, and libido depend on hydration. At first glance, water might seem basic, but it is fundamentally woven into the fabric of your body's sexual function. Healthy blood flow requires optimal blood volume and viscosity, which hinge on proper hydration. Without it, your circulation falters, testosterone synthesis slows, energy levels drop, and libido takes a nosedive. Dehydration thickens blood and lowers hormone efficiency. Thickened blood means your heart works harder to pump blood where it's needed most, including the penile tissues that enable erections. Hormones, particularly testosterone, rely on the liver and kidneys to metabolize properly. Dehydration impairs these organs, disrupting hormone balance and efficacy. This hormonal chaos leads to the all-too-common symptoms of sexual dysfunction many men face but seldom trace back to hydration. Real change can happen in just 2 to 4 weeks. The body is incredibly responsive. As we saw in case studies and expert analyses, simply increasing water intake can restore morning erections, boost energy, and improve mood within a few weeks. These aren't just small wins. They're foundational changes that cascade into better confidence, performance, and relationship satisfaction. The most affordable and accessible sexual health upgrade. Unlike expensive supplements, medications, or therapies, water costs next to nothing and is available everywhere. Yet it remains one of the most powerful and underappreciated tools in men's sexual health arsenal. It's literally the easiest upgrade you can make with profound results. Final thoughts. Don't underestimate the transformative power of something as simple as a few extra glasses of water each day. This small shift can ripple through every aspect of your life, from your physical vitality and sexual performance to your emotional well-being and intimate relationships. Imagine waking up feeling energized, confident in your ability to perform, and knowing you're doing something proactive that supports your body at the deepest levels. Sexual health isn't just about sex. It's a mirror of your overall health and lifestyle. Hydration stands at the crossroads of this balance. So take this knowledge and turn it into action. Make water your secret weapon for empowerment, resilience, and pleasure. Remember, stay hydrated, stay empowered, and keep evolving into the healthiest, most vibrant version of yourself.